Hello, and welcome to the Alaska Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. You can direct your questions to a specific school by including the name in your question, or you can address it to multiple schools or all of our participants to answer for you. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions to learn about other schools and programs. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters. This evening, we are in this box C3, so we are excited to begin tonight with Eastern Washington University.
Great, thank you so much, Jennifer, I appreciate it. Hello, Alaska. My name is also Jennifer, and I represent Eastern Washington University. What you're looking at here is our online lookbook. And if you look up here and see the link, you can access this from here. If you want to follow along or just kind of view this in your own time, you can do that again with this link here. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that. So just to give you a quick overview about Eastern, if you don't know anything, we are located in Cheney, Washington, and you might not know where that is, but we're just outside of the state's second largest city of Spokane. And we do have an international airport here, and I just looked it up and it takes about 5 hours to fly here from Anchorage, so not too bad. We are a medium-sized university with about 12,000 total students and about 2,000 total squirrels. Yes, they do have their own Instagram. Our campus in Cheney stretches out over 300 beautiful park-like acres, probably explaining the squirrels. It's a lot like a garden or a park, and we also have a campus in Spokane that's quite a bit different, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. Something that's really unique to Eastern, other than what's here on the screen, is that we really pride ourselves on our commitment to community and ensuring student success. So you're going to have professors and administrators who are available because they're invested in making sure that you're going to be successful, both academically as well as socially. So the thing that I tend to hear over and over from, both current students as well as alumni is that this type of environment really allowed them to thrive, and it felt like a second home to them. So to highlight a couple of kind of unique programs at Eastern, I wanted to talk about our forensic science program. It's really special because the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab is actually located just across the street from our campus. And so the staff from the crime lab are consistently guest lecturers in the classroom. And the crime lab also provides internships for our students. So students will have the opportunity to work on real forensics, real crimes, and they'll really have that kind of edge on the job market. We also offer a data analytics degree, and that's in collaboration with Microsoft. And the way that it works is your final year in the program will be spent utilizing Microsoft developed courses. And then when you graduate, you not only get a degree from us, but you also receive a professional certificate from Microsoft. So again, kind of giving you that edge. You can see here our top 5 majors, but Eastern has over 100 programs for you to explore. So really depending on what you're interested in, there's going to be something for you for sure. In addition to academics, Eastern and Cheney, the area that we're in is just such an awesome, safe, and welcoming community. You're really going to feel like you're part of a big family. So whether it's sports you're into, sororities and fraternities, or something else, there's going to be plenty of ways to meet friends who are into the same things. In addition to the almost 200 clubs and organizations that we have, Eastern also has an award-winning recreation center, complete with an ice rink, a climbing wall. We also have a brand new student union building that's kind of the center of campus. We also offer a ton of different student services. We have a multicultural center, a pride center, disability support services, and so on. So really, no matter where you're at, again, we're going to meet you there. Like I mentioned before, Eastern is really ideally located. It's going to be rural and urban at the same time. And that's one really cool thing that I love about this area, and I've lived all around the world, is that balance. So the same time that it takes for me to, for example, like drive to my favorite hiking spot, it's going to take me the same time to drive to my favorite coffee shop. So depending on my mood. So really the best of both worlds. Like I alluded to before, Eastern does have a campus located in Spokane, and the building that you see here is a brand new building that just opened a month ago. It's called the Catalyst Building, and it's brand new, and it's really special because it has a energy footprint of 0, which makes it one of the most sustainable buildings pretty much in the whole country. And we're pretty excited because it's going to house some of our top programs, including business and computer science, and also electrical engineering, public health, amongst some others. I wanted to quickly just talk about the cost because I know it's going to be important for you. For in-state students, for example, Eastern is the most affordable school of Washington public universities, but for out-of-state students and Alaska students in particular, we offer what's called the WUI. And the WUI is a scholarship that is awarded automatically. So there's no additional application you need to fill out or essay you need to write. So the full WUI scholarship is almost $15,000, and it's going to be based on your GPA. And it brings down your tuition to almost what in-state cost is. So something to keep in mind for that is that the priority deadline is February 1. So you just want to make sure that you submit your application for admission by February 1. So you have a few months. So now that you know a little bit more about our community, our costs, and our programs, for those of you following along in the lookbook, this is number 7. If you want to take the next step, you can come here to apply, maybe explore your programs a little bit. You can take a virtual tour, even if you want to request more information, or contact us later. So that's it for me, and I really hope to see you next fall. Thanks again for your time, and go Eags.
Great, thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing more with us about Eastern Washington University. Our next presenter will be Central Washington University.
Everyone, my name is Andrea Solis, and I am the admissions counselor for Central Washington University. You can find my contact information on the screen. So Central Washington University, you can probably guess from our name that we are in the center of the state, specifically in Ellensburg, Washington. We are 2 hours, or about an hour and a half really, from the Seattle airport. And we do have public transit that runs from the Starbucks on our campus to the airport. So if you're coming from Alaska, you don't necessarily need a car, you can take public transit. Our community itself also has free public transit around the city of Ellensburg. So again, you don't need a car, but we are also a really big biking outdoor community. So it's really easy to get around. We have over 300 days of sunshine a year, but we do also get all 4 seasons. So when I talk to a lot of Alaska students, I kind of get either 1 or 2 responses. Either they want to get away from the cold and the snow, and so I tell them, hey, Central might be a good place for you because we do get the cold and the snow, but it's definitely not as long as you do up in Alaska. Or you get the students who are like, you know, I want to have that feeling of home. And so the weather is pretty comparable as well. Because of our location, we have a lot of great outdoor activities that our students like to participate in. So we have skiing and snowboarding that's about 45 minutes away. We have hiking, camping, river rafting on the Yakima River. And again, because of our location, a lot of students like to enjoy going out and exploring the state. So we have Seattle again, that's about an hour and a half away. We have Spokane, that's 3 hours, and then Portland, that's 4. So if you're looking to explore the state of Washington, we are the perfect location for you. And we have roughly 12,343 students, making us a medium-sized university in the state of Washington. So when it comes to, again, size, I talked about how many students we have. We have a faculty or student to faculty ratio of 19:1 and an average class size of 25, which means that you really do get to engage in these meaningful conversations with your fellow classmates. You also really get to know the professors and they get to know you because you get to build that connection and relationship with them. We have over 135 programs and majors that you can choose from, and we can get that real world experience, again, being a little bit smaller of a university. Some of our unique programs that we offer are aviation management and paramedicine. We also offer global wine studies and craft brewing, because the state of Washington is kind of becoming the new Napa Valley in the eastern side. But then also some of our top majors include business, education, music, and the sciences. We were founded as a teaching institution, so our graduates, we graduate the most teachers throughout the state of Washington. And also in my travels along Alaska, I've met many graduates from Central as well that are teaching up there. Our music program is one of 2 programs that you actually need to audition for before getting in. It's very selective. So it'd be our music program and our theater program where you need to do that pre-audition. Everything else, and one of my favorite things about Central is that you don't have to know or declare your major when you are coming in as a first-year student. You can take your time, explore, try out different classes, and then find out what's the best fit for you. So how to apply. We have our own online application that you can find on our website, and there is a $60 application fee or also a fee waiver option if you qualify. We'll need your official high school and college transcripts if you're taking like any running start or college in the high school courses. And then new this year for Central is that we are officially test optional for SAT or ACT. So if you weren't able to take it because of COVID, no worries, it's completely optional. And then students below a certain GPA, we will require a personal statement. Again, we'll prompt you if we need that as part of your application. Our priority deadline is March 1st. It's just a priority deadline. We do rolling admission so we can continue to admit students after that, but why wait, right? So you'll also see on the screen that if you have a 3.0 cumulative GPA or higher and have met the CATER requirements, we guarantee you admissions to Central. And so I think it's a pretty good feeling that you know that if you apply, you have a place where you can go to college and feel at home. All right, so paying for college. We also participate in the WUI, the Western Undergraduate Exchange. As long as a student has applied by March 1st and committed to coming to Central by June 1st, we guarantee the WUI tuition rate. And it's open to any major, there's no separate application, and you save around $10,500, which is a huge saving. And you can see the breakdown of that cost between the WUI tuition rate, in addition to housing and dining, which is your room and board, and also an estimate for books, versus the out-of-state, non-resident, students from the East Coast rate that they'd be paying, and you could see the total savings. So at Central, we are NCAA Division II, and we have lots of men and women's varsity athletic sports. If you're interested in participating, there are walk-on tryouts for all of them, and you can reach out to the coaches and find their contact information on our website. So we have over 100 clubs and organizations on our campus. Some are going to be based on your major of interest, and others are going to be based on just for fun. Want to talk to you about our online experiences and my contact information in case you have any follow-up questions. The biggest thing is you can schedule a virtual admissions appointment with me if you have any more. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing more with us about Central Washington University. Our next presenter will be the University of Idaho.
Great, thanks, Jennifer. Let me share my screen. All right, can you see it now? And can you hear me fine? Cool. Thanks. I'm Matt Johnson, Associate Director of Admissions here at the University of Idaho. So it's my honor and privilege to speak to you a little bit about the University of Idaho. So University of Idaho is located in northern Idaho, in Moscow specifically, not Moscow, Moscow. And you can see where it's located in the Panhandle. It really sits right on the foothills of the Rocky Mountains on the east side. So I'll talk about it later, but that provides a lot of really cool access for research and recreation. But just some quick information about the university itself. I'd like to start off with the recent ranking in U.S. News and World Report that we were best in the West for all public schools in terms of value, and third best in the nation in the same category. So that just means return on investment, best bang for your buck here at the University of Idaho. Student faculty ratio, smaller the number, the better. So 15-1 is what we're looking at. And the university has been around for over 130 years. So we've had a lot of time to kind of hone in on a lot of different majors and skills that our graduates need. And then certainly we have students from all 50 states and over 70 different countries. On the academic side, we have over 96 majors available and more programs and minors available for you. 10 different colleges, the grad school and law school are two of those, but the other 8 are all undergrad. So if you're interested in studying it from the hard sciences to the liberal arts, we likely have it for you. And then the other thing we kind of pride ourselves on is, since we're a land grant institution for the state and the region, research is important to us. So we like to get you into the field and get you experience in whatever discipline you decide to study as early as possible in your academic journey. That tells you whether it's the right fit for you, but also lets you give practical experience to what you're going to learn in some of the higher level classes. So those classes mean a little bit more to you. Now to kind of transition to what it's like to be a student, to live on campus. We know that it's not just a college experience, it's a life experience. And you will spend more time outside of the classroom than you will actually in the classroom. One of the kind of cool things, if you get a chance to come visit, is just the feel for the campus. Really classic feel. I lived on the East Coast for a while, been around some Ivy Leagues, and the University of Idaho reminds me of those. In the green spaces and the brick buildings, it's just really kind of a beautiful space to be in. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to walk across campus, and then another 10 minutes to be in downtown Moscow, which is really convenient for our students. We're a D1 school, so it's great to, if you're capable of participating at that level, that's awesome. If not, it's great to cheer for them. Vandals are the only mascot out of all 5,000 colleges and universities in the United States. So when somebody says go Vandals, you know they're talking about the University of Idaho. But if you enjoy being a fan, but you also want to compete, we have over 200 different clubs, organizations, intramurals that you can be a part of, whether it's rodeo club, logging sports, Quidditch, Quiz Bowl, mountain bike, the marching band. You don't even have to be able to play an instrument to be in some of the ensembles and different things that we're asking people to be a part of. It's just really an inclusive, open environment, which kind of speaks to the diversity that we have on campus. It's just a great time to expose yourself to a lot of different people, a lot of different backgrounds, and a lot of different ideas and a lot of different things. I mentioned that our location in Moscow on the foothills of the Rockies and kind of on the end of the prairie here in the Pacific Northwest really opens us up to all 4 seasons and sports that certainly happen in all of those times. So how do you get to the University of Idaho? First, you have to apply and be admitted. Because of COVID, we are also test optional this next year. So if you have a 2.6 or higher, you're automatically admitted. If you're less than that, you'll ask for 3 references and a personal statement to get you admitted into the university. And that application at uidaho.edu is your one and only application. It takes about 20 minutes to do. And then you'll send in your transcripts, and that's it. And that application is also your scholarship application as we look at other institutional scholarships to help you reduce that bottom line. And then obviously there's a cost to going to any university, and we are also full WUI. So based off your zip code, and if you're admitted to the University of Idaho, you'll get the WUI all 4 years that you're here. So with the discount, that comes out to be $12,456. And then also consider the cost of living in whichever area that you're considering. We average about $9,000 here, and that's for housing and meals in a year, and then books and supplies, which is probably net neutral for most people, around $1,000. So total cost about $22,000 to go to school out of state here at the University of Idaho. And then we are open. We have students on campus right now. We've been open since August. Things are going well. We obviously have COVID protocols in place and continue to monitor and fight that. So if you're able to come down, please visit us. We have campus tours daily. And then sometimes we'll have events like on October 24th, we're hosting people for Envision. And all of this, again, is we're doing it safely within COVID protocols. But as challenging as I'm sure it is in Alaska to get down to the lower 48, visit us virtually. We have a really cool view book that will be kind of catered to who and what you are, as well as virtual tours. And finally, this is my information. Reach out to me. I'd love to talk to any of you about the opportunities here at the University of Idaho. And I think that's my time. Thank you. Go Vandals.
Great. Thank you so much, Matt, for sharing more with us about the University of Idaho. And thank you to all of our attendees so far who are entering some questions. We're getting a lot of great questions about certain types of majors that are being are offered at different schools. So thank you for asking that, and thank you to our representatives for popping in and starting to answer those. Our next presentation will be from Idaho State University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Vernon, and I am your admissions advisor for Idaho State University. Idaho State University, we are a medium-sized university at 13,000 students enrolled each year. Now, for some of you in Alaska, that may seem pretty large. I originally am from Ketchikan, Alaska, with a population of 8,000 people, so that seemed pretty big for me. But the nice thing at Idaho State is that we do maintain a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which means the majority of your class sizes are going to be small. You're going to have about 20 students per class. So you really get the opportunity to get to know your classmates and get to know your professors on a personal basis. We do have over 250 different areas of study. These range from technical certificates to doctorate degrees, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We are on 4 separate campuses. Our main campus is going to be in Pocatello, Idaho, which is on the eastern side of the state. We do have some satellite campuses throughout the state, but we also have a campus in Anchorage, Alaska. We have a partnership with the University of Alaska Anchorage for students wanting to pursue pharmacy. Because we have 250 different programs, and I'm not going to be able to talk about each and every one of them today, make sure to check out our website, isu.edu/majors, to be able to see each of them. But we do separate them into some different colleges. So in the College of Arts and Letters, we're going to have things like English, communications. In our College of Business, Marketing, Management, Healthcare Administration. In College of Education, we offer outdoor education, if any of you guys are outdoor enthusiasts, but we also offer elementary education, secondary education. We do have our College of Science and Engineering if you're interested in biology, chemistry. If you're interested in engineering, we do have nuclear engineering offered on our campus with a low-powered nuclear reactor in the basement of our engineering building. Idaho State is very involved with research at every grade level. Any student is able to participate in research studies. We have our Division of Health Sciences. Idaho State University, we are the health science institution for the state of Idaho, meaning that we have the majority of the programs for the state at the highest levels. We also have our College of Technology. Like I mentioned, we do have technical certificates. So students that are interested in automotive mechanics, air maintenance mechanics, they want to go into cosmetology or law enforcement, they can still get that college experience of living on a campus, going to sporting events while continuing with those technical programs. Outside of the classroom, we have a lot of different things that our students can be involved in. We have over 8,000 events that happen throughout a school year. These can be slip and slides on Bart's Field or cultural nights happening in our ballroom. We have over 150 different clubs and organizations on campus. So if you're interested in sororities, fraternities, professional and academic clubs, student government, there are a lot of different options for you to join clubs and find students with similar interests as you. We do offer study abroad. If any of you guys are interested in studying in another country, we have a free movie theater here on campus that runs movies 6 nights a week. We do have a recreational center with an indoor rock wall, swimming pool, tennis courts, basketball courts, you name it, they've got it. We have our Outdoor Adventure Center. For those of you from Alaska, I loved the outdoors when I was growing up. So being able to go to the Outdoor Adventure Center and get involved was pretty great. Intramural and club sports, if you are interested in athletics, but maybe not at the Division I level, you may want to join some of those intramural sports. We are Division I, NCAA Division I in our athletics. All of our sporting events are free for students, and any student can attend our events on campus for athletics. If you are interested in playing at the collegiate level, please contact me so we can get you in contact with some coaches. We do have on-campus housing for students. We have 3 different styles of housing. We have the traditional freshman resident halls. We do have suite style living where you do have your own individual bedroom. And then we also have apartments on campus. It is not required for freshmen to live on campus, but it is highly recommended. Idaho State University, if you're interested in applying, our application can be found at isu.edu/apply. We have waived the SAT and ACT requirements for scholarships and admissions for fall 2021. Our minimum GPA requirement is a 2.5 high school unweighted GPA. If you send all of that in by February 15th, you will be eligible for our different scholarships. Idaho State University, we are a WUI school, meaning you can receive 150% of in-state tuition for your total cost tuition. But we also offer a non-resident tuition waiver. The cool thing about both the WUI and non-resident tuition waiver, you do maintain your Alaskan residency. So you do get your PFD every year that you're going to school. All of our programs are WUI eligible. For non-resident tuition waivers, there are some programs that are not eligible, like nursing and dental hygiene. We offer over $14 million in student scholarships, like I said. So there are additional scholarships that can be found on our online scholarship system. The biggest thing is to make sure that you apply by February 15th of your senior year to qualify for WUI and the non-resident tuition waiver. A little bit of a cost breakdown for Idaho State University. If you are receiving WUI tuition, you're looking at $11,808 for a year's worth of tuition. If you receive the non-resident tuition waiver, you'd be in-state tuition at $7,872. Then additional cost for housing, meal plans, textbooks, and supplies. We encourage all of our students to come to campus. We are open during COVID, so please feel free to come down and visit with us. I understand, being from Alaska myself, that it's a challenge to come and travel. So make sure you can check out our website. We do have virtual options as well, such as Experience ISU happening on October 30th and 31st. Here's my contact information. Please feel free to reach out and let me know if you have any additional questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Allison, for sharing that with us. Our 5th school this evening will be the University of Hawaii at Hilo.
Aloha, my name is Maria Vicente. I'm an admissions counselor from the University of Hawaii at Hilo. Hilo is a small comprehensive regional university located on the Big Island of Hawaii in the small rural town of Hilo. Hilo is home to around 3,200 students. We have a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of about 19. The Big Island of Hawaii is known for its biographical diversity, and we have 10 of the world's 14 different climate zones, which really allows our students the ability to have hands-on learning opportunities in the actual environments that you'll be learning about. From snow-capped mountaintops to wet, warm, temperate lands or the Pacific Ocean, you won't just learn about it in the classroom. There are opportunities for hands-on research alongside professors. Hilo has been consistently ranked the #1 most ethnically diverse national university by the US News and World Report. So Hawaii is already a boiling pot of different cultures due to the unique history of the islands, and you'll really get to experience different perspectives, learning alongside students from other places in the world. And adding to that, a lot of students travel to study in Hawaii due to its unique learning opportunities, to be taught by faculty from around the world, and to study affordably in a place that's different from where you're from. We also have opportunities to go on exchange with global and national student exchange if you're interested in studying elsewhere in the world, and lots of opportunities for internships, presentation, and performance. Our top 5 programs are business, psychology, marine science. We also have kinesiology and biology. And then some of our other popular programs are astronomy, nursing, pharmacy. We are the only pharmacy school in the Pacific. And so you can kind of get all of that learning at Hilo. So to touch on tuition, As you can see on the left side, we have the out-of-state/non-resident tuition cost. So for one academic year, it's around $20,304, which after 4 years totals up to $81,216. UH Hilo is a WUI school though, so if you are a resident of Alaska and meet the requirements, you can pay $11,016 per year, totaling $44,064. So it essentially cuts your costs in half. In order to be eligible for the WUI tuition rate, you have to be a resident of Alaska or any of these other Western states, have a minimum 3.0 cumulative GPA over 4 years in high school if applying as a freshman applicant, or if you're a transfer student, you have to have at least a 2.8 cumulative GPA with at least 24 transferable college credits. Please note that these tuition costs don't include books and supplies, meals and housing, loan fees, etc. So for our freshman applications for fall 2021, if you are applying as an incoming freshman, you would need a 2.0, 2.7 cumulative academic GPA. If you have that or higher, you're automatically admissible. If you had less than that, we are still looking for SAT or ACT test scores to be submitted for consideration. We do still use these scores for placement in English, so you don't need to, even if you don't need to submit them, it is still a good idea. In order to apply, you just need to submit our online application, $50 application fee, as well as your official high school transcript. And so for our freshmen, we're looking for 4 units of English, 3 units of math, including Algebra 2, 3 units of natural science, and 7 college prep electives. If you're applying as a transfer student, we're looking for a minimum of 24 completed college credits and a 2.0 GPA cumulative. One thing to note is that if you have an Associates of Arts degree, it's not required, but it can actually waive your general education requirements at UH Hilo. And so you can kind of get right to work on your major requirements. Also, being in the location that we're in, there's lots of opportunities to kind of get outdoors and explore. Our students, depending on what they're majoring in, we can have students going on scuba dives to work on research, or going to Volcano National Park to walk through lava fields and do surveying. So lots of opportunities to kind of get your hands dirty and learn more about what you're reading about. Our campus is open. If you would like to contact us, please visit our website, join us on Facebook or Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via phone or email. And thank you, mahalo, for listening.
Great, thank you so much, Maria, for sharing about the University of Hawaii at Hilo. I know that our representatives are doing a great job jumping into the Zoom. So for all of our attendees, this is a great time to think back if there's any programs you wanted to check on about any of these institutions, double check and ask for contact information, anything else along those lines. And while we've got the questions and answering going on, I'd love to have all of our representatives just pop back in for a quick second to join us. So the first question I want to ask you, since we have a little bit of time, is to share with all of our attendees tonight a campus tradition, special event, something that really, is special to your campus, brings your community together, that everyone looks forward to. We'll go in the same order that you presented. So Eastern Washington will kick us off. And as one school finishes and you're next in line, just feel free to unmic yourself and answer away. And attendees, don't forget, throw those last questions in that Q&A for us tonight.
Great, thanks, Jennifer. We actually have a really cool tradition at Eastern. It's called Pass Through the Pillars. And what that is basically at the beginning of your freshman year, you pass through the kind of like old traditional columns that are like the main entrance of the school. So all the freshmen gather just outside of campus, and all the faculty and all the staff line up on the sidewalk to basically welcome them and greet them. And then what happens is, they walk through and they complete their education. And then the tradition is that they will leave through the same way. So they'll actually leave through the same pillars once they graduate. So every year when we have commencement, the seniors who are graduating that year will leave and we will say goodbye to them. So that's my favorite tradition at Eastern. I think it's really cool. It's called Pass Through the Pillars.
The biggest traditions at Central Washington University is our homecoming, which I know almost every single university has. But specifically, we have this huge bonfire on our campus where all the students will gather around. The marching band comes, the dance team and cheerleaders come, and it's just such a huge pep rally where students can gather together, you know, share some new experiences, and especially for those first year students who under normal circumstances without COVID, this is their first big college gathering. And it's actually homecoming week right now on our campus, so it's looking a little different this year, but we're hoping to continue on the traditions for years to come.
Cool, and I'll follow in same suit. So homecoming week for us was just last week. So the homecoming traditions here, there's many different ones, but two that really stand out to me. I had mentioned that University of Idaho and Moscow are like really close to each other. And so they have a serpentine and a parade that goes downtown. It's a cute downtown, but the community comes out. Obviously the university comes out. So it's a cool blending of kind of the support, and just really festive and a lot of fun. And everybody just gets to create and make a lot of noise. And I say this because somebody in my office, a student, was just pronounced homecoming king and told me that after they go to the president's office and they get their royalty thing or whatever happens, they all go down to the corner club here. And if you talk to anybody that's a vandal, they know the corner club, and there's a dance that they have to do on top of the bar thing. So I haven't seen that yet, but that's something I look forward to once COVID kind of goes away, to be able to kind of watch and be a witness of. But that's two kind of traditions here at the University of Idaho. Thank you.
At Idaho State University, our biggest tradition is going to be March Through the Arch. Back in 1901, when ISU was first opened, we had Swanson's Hall. When they tore down the building, they did preserve the archway, and now every year at the beginning of school year, the Sunday night before classes start, the community, all the students, families, they gather. We have a big pep rally where we introduce our athletes, some of our new faculty. But with the help of our marching band, we march all of our students down the main part of campus, around the outside of campus, and through that archway so that they can start their college career at Idaho State going through that same archway that the students before them have. Once they graduate, we do the same thing, but we call it March Through the Arch Senior Salute. So you go back down through campus, from campus to the outside world as your final send-off. They do say that it's a superstition not to cross through that another time in between starting at school and graduating. Otherwise, you could jeopardize your ability to graduate.
So at Hilo, every January, we have an event called the Ho'olalea, and it's an event where we bring in community members. So we have lots of bands come and play live music, and then we have vendors. So one thing that's really cool about Hawaii is there's lots of artists on the island that kind of make and sell different things. And so we bring in a lot of those vendors to come and sell things. We also bring in a lot of food trucks. There's an entire area dedicated to like a bouncy house or slides for the whole family. So you can kind of bring your whole family. We try to give tours to students. And this is something that we also do separately in the community every September. So in September, in downtown Hilo, they have a much larger event with larger bands, and it takes up the entire main street. So Hilo's event is kind of a smaller version of that.
Awesome. I love that hope that everyone enjoyed hearing, because I know I did, about different campus traditions and a little bit about that student experience outside the classroom as well. For another question, because we still have some great Q&A going on, so I want to give everyone in the box and all of our reps a little more time there. Could you share one sort of fun or unique fact that maybe doesn't always make your admissions presentation, but is something really interesting about your school? We'll rotate in the same order again, just to make it easy. So thanks, Jennifer.
Yep, sure, no problem. One thing that is pretty unique about us is we were originally a teachers college, so that was kind of our tradition. And we still on campus have the original like schoolhouse that was the original Teachers College. And as part of, it's another tradition, part of the beginning of every school year, we ring the bell of that old Teachers College schoolhouse. And so, yeah.
Nice. I think something that doesn't always make my presentation is, so we are the Central Washington University Wildcats, and not many people know the name of our mascot. His name is Wellington, and it was actually voted on by the students to name our mascot Wellington. So they picked not only, I think, the animal, but also the name.
So at the University of Idaho, kind of one of the things that stands out to me is just the campus itself. It's really pretty in some of the green spaces, but it was designed by, or part of it was designed by the Olmsted brothers, who designed the mall in Washington, D.C. and Central Park in New York City. So I don't know how and why they came out here in the early 1900s and designed the University of, or helped design it, but they did. And the other kind of pivot to that is that the university is actually older than the state of Idaho, for however that works. So that's interesting.
So at Idaho State University, because we have our technical programs right here on our main campus, it provides some really great services for students at a huge discounted cost. I personally am far too cheap to stay blonde, and so I will go to the cosmetology center and I will have my hair cut or colored. I don't know anything about changing the oil in my car or rotating my tires, so I'll take it to the automotive mechanic students, and I get a huge discount as a student, as faculty. And so there's lots of really great services. You don't have to go out into the community if you don't want to. Everything's right here on campus.
So interesting facts about Hilo. I'm going to kind of touch on our research opportunities. So if you've ever seen the documentary Chasing Coral on Netflix, it's very good if you haven't seen it. But some of our students actually worked on data collection for that documentary. So just a really cool opportunity that our students have had. And another interesting fact is recently there was life that was discovered on Venus, and one of our students actually helped in data collection for that discovery. So just really cool opportunities for our students to get their hands dirty again with their research that they're doing at Hilo.
Awesome. That is all such interesting things, and thank you for sharing them with us. We are coming to the end of our time together, and we definitely hope that all of our attendees will follow up with these great schools to learn more about them by visiting their websites and the content information that was provided. And thank you to all of our presenters for sharing not just the facts, but also obviously your passion and excitement for the opportunities at your institution. When you all close your window, there's going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you can provide for us. We also just want to remind you again that this is one of many sessions that are being held, so we hope that you'll sign up for more sessions to learn about more great schools. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings, so you can review the schools you learned about tonight and maybe learn about a few more. Again, we just want to say thank you for spending time with us today, and everyone have a great day. Good night. Bye.
Bye.